In celebration of Nelson Mandela's 100th birthday, I would like to share with you the connections between Nelson Mandela and Charles Rudolph Dudley. Charles and Nelson Mandela's first son were born in the same year after Nelson Mandela set up the ANC Youth League. The baseball league that Charles and his brother participated in the 1950s was American but segregated. In the early months of the year of 1960, the passed laws of the apartheid system became increasingly oppressive. Unfortunately, the Civil Disobedience Act of just handing in your passes to the local policeman in Charlottesville resulted in the Charlottesville massacre, where 69 people were shot by police. The sit-ins that started on February 1st, 1960, in Greensboro, North Carolina, where Charles attended university, showed the world how unjust segregation laws were both in America and in South Africa. In the year that Nelson Mandela defiantly went off to serve his life sentence, Charles's mother got used to life without her two boys, one now in art school and the other to serve in the U.S. Navy. In the following years, both would suffer the personal loss of their closest family members, Charles, his brother Carl, to the Vietnam War. Both suffered permanent separation from their family members. Nelson Mandela was denied the opportunity to say goodbye to his mother and son, who passed away when he was in prison. In prison, Mandela was able to find solace in a smuggled copy of the complete works of Shakespeare. Charles embraced his spiritual journey of faith and was able to answer the question, "Wherefore art thou, Charles?" by indulging in the act of creating art and just being. If you were to ask Charles why he made a particular piece of art, he will tell you that he doesn't know, although it seems that is the very freedom that Charles enjoys. In the early 70s, Charles moved from Washington, D.C., where he had studied at the Corcoran School of Art and Design, to the Big Apple, Manhattan, New York. In New York, Charles had landed a prestigious job in the entertainment industry. Charles continued his art study at the Pratt Institute whilst entertaining dignitaries from around the world and discovering his talent for event planning. Coincidentally, around the same time that Nelson Mandela had marked a favorite passage from the complete works of Shakespeare, Charles was relieved of his position, but with courage, and like many African Americans before him, he decided to travel to Europe. Charles eventually spent almost 18 years in Europe, Asia, and Africa before returning to his living and working studio in New York. Charles Rudolph Dudley's body of work never shied away from the rich history of African Americans. On the morning after Nelson Mandela passed in 2013, Charles Rudolph Dudley has been working on this masterpiece that he is proud to present this work of art in celebration of Nelson Mandela's 100th birthday.